Hello Capricorn, this is your extended reading. So I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing here in the extended also because not only, the message that I was seeing in the first part about you clearly establishing your boundaries, but in a firm but also generous way, right? Generous, applying your generosity to yourself first and then to others if you have enough, right? So after you change the perspective of, maybe you used to sacrifice yourself a lot and then thinking things through in a way that maybe you are more self-compassionate, or you were just paying more attention to what you truly needed, and that was helping you to establish or maintain these these boundaries set, right? These boundaries, these limits there, even though that could have been harsh perhaps for those that you usually are so readily available for them, right? But I feel like there's one thing that is really interesting me here, because if we ended the first part with a knight, the Knight of Cups, we are ending here your extended, and I'm going to start from the end and then I'm going to make my way to the beginning, but we're ending with another knight, and this is the Knight of Pentacles. And I feel like, if you had to establish perhaps, emotional boundaries first, still, you did it in a way that it was like, it's like protecting you, protecting how you feel, protecting your emotions, protecting your relationships, or at least your relationship towards yourself, right? But doing so through the Four of Pentacles, meaning through the it's like through not giving more that you can afford to give, right? Maybe we're talking about money, maybe we're talking about your time, but it's like it's a more mundane aspect of it because of the Four of Pentacles. So this was the first part, and what I want to mention before I go to the first card about this Knight of Pentacles is because we have, actually in the same position, and you'll see this in the thumbnail, but it's like if we had the conversation between, the Knight of Cups and the Four of Pentacles in the first part, in the same positions we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. So I want to say that you have achieved, Capricorn, healthy boundaries, right? This is essentially what the Four of Cups is talking about. Healthy boundaries. If you had to do so first in terms of your schedule, your money, your time, practical affairs or mundane things, it's like the consequence is that you're now preserving your heart. You are preserving your psyche, maybe your energetic field, your emotions, right? And this is beautiful because I feel like maybe you were not aware that that would be the consequence, and the continuation of maintaining these boundaries is that they become things that you want to nurture. It's like these are not harsh things or things that make you a distant or a non-generous person, right? It's like quite the contrary. It's making you know exactly what you have and how much of that you can give, right? It's like it's just emphasizing how much you have learned to protect yourself, but keeping these boundaries nurtured, right? Keeping these boundaries it's almost like if you have like a fence made of plants, it's like you have to prune them. It's almost, this is what I'm seeing with the Four of Cups. But before the Four of Cups, actually the opening card here in your extended is the Star. So this star is you, Capricorn, and it came through as, you know, you blazing in the dark. It's like this is a shining star that it's almost like alleviates the darkness, or it's like bringing some sort of relief in the dark, but it's for yourself. Remember, it's like, yes, you will help others or you will give to others as soon as you have given to yourself, right? It's like this is a lesson that maybe is, you know, it's not just something that you have to keep on reminding yourself. It's almost like this is a practice that now it is exactly what is shaping your world. So this is, you know, oh, what is the word? This is the status quo now. This is the default mode, right? You giving to yourself and then giving to others. But this, it's like being your own guiding light, being this bright, shining light in the darkness. And it's interesting because, you know, with the Three of Cups and the Three of Swords, this could be seen in a sense as a phase of, you know, walking through darkness or walking through a new way of doing things or a new way of seeing yourself, I want to say, especially because, you know, after you have established these boundaries and after you have protected yourself enough that, you know, any vampire, it's like there aren't going to be like energetic vampires anymore, right? So this could have been like the uncomfortable darkness that you might have, you know, gone through while learning to hold on to these boundaries. And so the way that you do so is like, is so, I want to say, reinvigorating, but also there's something about healing, right? The star holds that energy of healing, but it's like the more you nurture yourself, the more you give to yourself, the more you offer to yourself, the more you're going to shine. And this is what it's like, the more you do so, it's like these boundaries are not going to be harsh, right? It's not like a fence that is made of spikes and things that could hurt people. So, you know, it's like keeping others away, but also it's like keeping you locked in, right? If that was the case in the first part, you know, while you were learning how to maintain that, it's like now that you are healing in a sense, now that you are being this guiding light for yourself because you're giving, you're nurturing yourself to the point that, you know, you have enough light that you can shine for yourself, right? It's like you're not giving away all of your light to the point that you don't have any, right? So it's like you know that that is a healthy thing. It's like you have, it's almost like you have planted a few seeds, you know, within the harsh or within the naked fence, right? It's no longer naked. It's like it's not embedded or embellished. It's like now it has things to make it beautiful, right? It's like just, you know, this this fence filled with plants and, you know, ivy or, you know, whatever is, you know, alive that is growing there. And I want to say it's because of you. It's because of your light. It's because of your nourishment, right? And because you are nurturing those boundaries. Those boundaries are not, you know, as walls as much as they are, you know, this permeable live fence, right? So back to the nighttime, or the night sky, I should say, because if we had the star, which is you, Capricorn, after the Four of Cups we have the moon. And the more you nurture, so okay, this moon card is, yes, talking about this, you know, the ultimate light during the night, right? The ultimate flashlight, or the, it's almost like the one that inspired you. So maybe there is somebody, or Yeah, I'm just questioning here whether this is an actual person or not. But maybe it is. Maybe it is coming through as a mother or a motherly figure that, you know, reminded you that establishing your own healthy boundaries is something that is going to make you shine even more. But I want to say this moon, it's like maybe yes, there is this, you know, other person, but it's like this motherly figure. It's like you with yourself, Capricorn. It's like you are mothering yourself. You, maybe this is you and your younger self, or maybe this is your future self with your present self, or maybe this is you nurturing your inner child, or, you know, something like that. It's like it's carrying this mothering energy, but one that is this inspiring light. So it's like, it's not that now you're going to lose your light to follow the light of the moon because it's, you know, the most shining light in the night sky. It's like, you know, that as much as the moon is shining, right, it's like you can shine for yourself. It's like you can find your own inner light, right, to shine as brightly as the moon if you'd like, right? So because this is the reminder that this moon is giving you. It's like the more you nurture yourself, the more you nourish your needs, nourish well, your well-being. It's like you are holding on to very healthy and helpful boundaries, right? You're keeping it alive, but to the point that is just enhancing your light. It's like making you shine even brighter. I hope that makes sense. So, okay, now for the tricky bit. There's always a tricky bit, I figure. It's like, you know, maybe because we are here in this dimension where there are always challenges, but after this beautiful, you know, nourishment from the moon and the Four of Cups, here comes the Hierophant and the Nine of Swords. So first of all, don't be spooked away by this Hierophant and the Nine of Swords. Yes, it's not the most comfortable thing ever, but it's almost like that is the encouragement that this moon is bringing to your star self, right? To your inner light, to your inner being. And it's like through keeping and pruning this healthy boundary, it's like to keep your star alive in a sense, to keep your light always turned on, right? Always shining. It's like there is going to be like requirement that you are always in tune, that you are always inspired, that you are always mothering yourself, that you are always taking care of yourself and loving yourself, but also like feeding and pruning the fence, the limit, the boundaries, okay? Because, so what these is talking, these cards together, the Hierophant and the Nine of Swords, is that this Hierophant is like, you know, whenever you go straight to source in a sense, right? To mother yourself without having anybody else to take care of you in a sense. It's almost like if, you know, you had, or maybe we're talking about a priest, right? Or something that, you know, is like an intermediary a person, you know, to make you feel good or to bring you the nourishment that maybe you were lacking because you were giving so much, and then you needed to look out for somebody else that could provide you, you know, the nourishment that you needed. But because you are nourishing yourself enough to the point that you are giving for yourself first, it's like, and if you keep yourself inspired always by this moon instead of, you know, going after this Hierophant, it's like, it's almost like you're going to It's like whatever was causing you this moment of feeling depleted, or this moment of needing recharging, or this moment of feeling down, of feeling, you know, that you were being exploited, or however you felt that brought you down, right? With the Nine of Swords, it's like that part, that challenge, or, you know, the tool that you use to, you know, use when you were in that old paradigm, when you were in that old worldview where your world was, you know, commanded by gravity, you know, and then suddenly you inverted that process and you shaped your new worldview in a way that it's not sacrificing who you are or what you need first, right? It's like it's always putting yourself first. Now, so you are no longer asking them for help. It's like if you used to give all of your time, all of your time and all of your help to other people, then you had none for yourself, right? It's like this was the go-to way that you could escape and cope and recharge and, you know, recalibrate your energy. But you no longer need this because you are learning this. And it's almost like this is a constant cyclical job, right? This is nourishment that has to come in, you know, every cycle of the moon. It's almost like you know that there is, you know, internal emotional work to do in order to keep these boundaries in a healthy state, right? And because you know that you are learning this, and this is very just it feels good, right? It feels good. It's like you are learning that you no longer need this. You no longer need this third person to intervene or to be this helping hand, right? Even if they were presenting themselves, you know, potentially as, you know, like a partial party, right? It's like, you know, if we're talking about, you know, people that were constantly, you know, asking things of you, and you didn't know how to say no, but suddenly you learned, you know, for them it's going to feel odd and strange, but to you, you know that you are just being protective of yourself. This is another person. This is like, you know, they're not in your family, they're not. That's why I was using the example of a priest, right? It's like they know you because you would always go to them, but it's like they don't have, you know, perhaps the emotional ties. It's almost like they have this it's like this open ears, right, to listen to your problems in a way that they are not affected by it, but they would be, you know, this tool for you to cope with, you know, your lack of boundaries, essentially. So you don't need this anymore because you have found balance, right? With the Justice card and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is, you know, referring back again to these two beautiful cards. So the World and the Knight of Cups. It's like when you change your world and you start wearing this shield of love, meaning you are providing love for yourself. And, you know, it's not a shield of love that prevents you from loving. It's actually the other way around. It's like loving you so much that now you know that you can give without losing anything, right? So it's like it's all a learning process, okay? This is like learning how to keep your light shining, right? It's like, it's almost like if you, the way that you used to do your thing, or the way that you used to show your generosity, Capricorn, it's like you would, you know, be blazing out in the darkness with the star, then you would just dim out. It's like there would be like no light left, right? And then you would have to go to, ouch, to this Hierophant to find your light back, right? So even if this wasn't a priest, right? If this was like a guru, a shaman, or, you know, a friend, or a counselor, or somebody like a third entity that would be the bridge that you could find your way back to the light, right? It's like, because you were giving away all of your light without it's like you didn't have any stock for yourself, right? So you were just giving it all away. So you were constantly going on like full bright light, but then, you know, full darkness, you know. And maybe this is what you're learning. It's like you can keep your light always on, right? By nurturing yourself. And this is what brings you the balance that you need, but in a way that puts you in a really good spot in terms of being a human, right? The Knight of Pentacles is talking about not only you have learned how to protect yourself emotionally in terms of, you know, nurturing yourself first, but then, you know, what you have extra you can give without losing anything, without sacrificing yourself, right? Because you have built this shield for you. And so here it's the same thing, but in a way that these healthy boundaries are giving you new tools, I want to say, and tools that are going to keep you, it's like this balance, this justice is in terms of, you know, being in this roller coaster of maybe we're talking about highs and lows, right? Of feeling extremely good, you know, enlightened, but then feeling extremely, you know, down and low and out of faith and things like that. So the healing, the true healing that brings balance is one that allows you to have a 3D life, a human life, a mundane life where you, where you are always shiny, where you are always this beacon of light in the dark, but you can expose much of yourself, right? And it's not all of yourself, is what you want to expose, what you want to give, what you want to show in the 3D, where you don't lose balance, where you're not, you know, it's like you're not giving away more than you can give, essentially, in, you know. And even in terms of money, if we're talking about that, right? It's like you are giving just enough so that you are always protected, so that you are always balanced. But it's like this balance between the physical and the spiritual, perhaps the physical and the emotional, the practical and the psychic. So you achieve that, and it's gorgeous, I want to say, Capricorn. It's like you really found a way that you don't need others to put you back in center, or put you back, you know, in this path where you find balance, or where you are back on track, you know, to feel good, to feel healed, to feel enlightened, right? It's like you are learning how to do so for yourself. So let's see what the astrological runes have to add as a final guidance for you, Capricorn. Okay, so the final guidance here is very, very clear, because we have Neptune, and it's talking about all of this light in the darkness, right? All of this spirituality, all of this nourishment, all of this giving back to yourself. So Neptune, it talks about like reaching to what is unknown, reaching to your subconscious, reaching to spirituality and nurturing it, right? It's a very watery energy. It's like, you know, the god of water, the god of the open seas. So this is pretty much like emphasizing that if you nurture this gift, right? If you nurture yourself in terms of, you know, your psyche, your emotional well-being, how much you believe, you know, in the universe, how much you believe in yourself, how much faith you have in yourself. It's like nurturing that will always keep you in tune and keep you within healthy boundaries, right? So nurture that. Nurture. It's almost like, you know, it's like if you are feeling like you were depleted, or, you know, it's almost like I'm seeing if you felt like you were giving so much of yourself that you dehydrated. It's like now you know that mothering yourself and taking care of yourself, it's like you will never run out of light. You will never run out of intuitive connection. You will never run out of, you know, hydration in a sense. It's like you are hydrating yourself to keep yourself in a very beautiful and balanced position. So yeah, it's like just encouraging you to maintain that spiritual practice, maintain that faith high, maintain that light in the darkness, right? It's like you are the one who can heal yourself essentially. So be that, nurture that, believe in that. That's so beautiful, Capricorn. That is really inspiring. I'm wishing you a lot of love, and, you know, even more love that you can give for yourself. Yeah, I hope this was insightful to you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.